So to start this video, I'm going to try to explain what a webhook is to you. So let's say that you have ordered a pizza for delivery, then delivery person needs to know your address so we can actually deliver the pizza. This is kind of like what a webhook is, but instead of the pizza, it is information that is delivered to a website or app, where with the pizza delivery, it will be a pizza delivered to you. One of the good things about webhook is that you will actually get a notification when you receive data or information. So let's stay with the pizza delivery example. Let's say that you're waiting for your pizza. Then the good thing about a webhook is that you'll actually get a notification when you receive it. So let's say you're waiting for your pizza, you go out, you check the door, you open the door every single minute to check if the pizza has been delivered. This is not really the way that we're doing it. Instead, we're waiting for the pizza delivery guy to ring the doorbell, and then we'll go out and grab the pizza. And this is the exact same idea behind the webhooks, where instead of listening to data all the time or like information, then we will just wait on till we get a notification. And then when we get a notification, we will then receive the information and data. Then when we have received the data from the webhook, we can actually just go in, process the data, or send notification to other services. So this is actually like a really cool thing. And in this video, I'm going to show you how we can set up webhooks in V7 in your whole workflow pipeline when you're annotating your data, how we can use webhooks when you're actually like setting up your workflow, annotating your data, and creating machine learning pipelines. So now we should have a fairly good understanding of what a webhook is and what it can be used for. So let's now jump into V7, set up a workflow, see how we can actually connect to a webhook. Here we're going to use Slack, so we're going to send notifications to Slack based on the stages that we are in our workflow. But let's just start with creating the workflow. Then I'm going to show you how we can set it up. We can also have, like for example, Google Sheets, where we send our data. So if our data is rejected in our annotation stages or accepted, then we can actually throw it to a webhook. We can store it in Google Sheets, where we basically just add another row when we receive new data and information by our webhook. So this is the exact same thing as in the pizza delivery example. So this is actually like a really good explanation of it. First of all, we start with our data. We have this email data set where we have these text documents that we want to scan. First of all, here we have 291 files. First of all, we need to go in, create an AI model here. So we actually have this text scanner by V7. I already have a video about that if you want to check that out and see how we can use this really cool text scanner from V7. So first of all, here we just have our data set. We're going to connect that to our AI model, and then we're going to connect the text scanner over here to the right. I'm just going to hit connect model, and then it will act like connected to our workflow. We can see one class is mapped to nothing. We're just going to map it to an email class. So here we have email information. So basically like all the text that we extract from these documents, we're just going to label them as email info. You can choose whatever classes you have in your data set and so on. So now we have our AI model. The idea behind having this AI model is instead of like manually labeling our whole data set, we can just take our images, throw them through the text scanner, and then we can have review stages and annotation stages after that. And that will actually like save a lot of time doing the labeling. So here we have our AI model, we get the predictions and the annotations from our AI model. Now we can have a review stage after that, just to have some team members reviewing that the AI model is actually like creating correct labels. Then if they're accepted, we can just throw them into our data set, train our models after that. And then if they're rejected, we can throw it into another labeling stage, which is manually labeling. We can just go in and correct the labels from the AI model, throw it through another review stage before we pass it into our final data set. So here we have our text scanner, we have a review stage. I'm just going to assign me to this review stage. Again, if you have additional team members, you can assign a different task to those team members. So this is also one of the cool features about V7 and these workflows that we can create. Then we have our AI model, we throw it into our review stage. Then if they're accepted, we can throw it into another step. And also if they're rejected, again, we'll throw it into another stage. So now we're going to add a stage here. So if our AI model has done the predictions and the labels correct, then we're just going to throw it into the complete state, which is our final data set. So if our labels from the AI model is rejected, let's just throw it through an annotation state here. So this is basically just manually annotation. We can correct the labels from the AI model. So here we're just going to drag the rejected ones down to the annotation state. Again, I'm just going to assign myself to the annotation stage. Again, if you have additional team members, you can assign those to different stages. You can have, for example, like juniors in the first review stages, and then more seniors in the later review stages. So you make sure that you have the best data sets for your model before training. So now we have another annotation state here. We do the manual correction. Then let's say that we actually just want to have another review stage. We throw it into another review stage. If they are, let's just go in here, we throw it into review stage. If they're accepted here, we flow it into the complete data set. If they're rejected, we're basically just going to pass it through a webhook. We're going to set up a webhook for Slack with Zapier. So basically, we'll just get a notification if the image is rejected in the first review stage and also in the second review stage. And then we can actually just discard those images from our data set. But first of all, we need to give a notification over Slack so we can review what type of images are actually rejected. So now we're going to set in a webhook. We have the rejected ones. We go down, throw it into our webhook. Again, first of all, we can set up an URL here. I'm going to show you that in just a second, but you can basically like connect any URL here to the webhook. And again, this just works exactly as in the pizza delivery example. So this URL here will basically like be the address of your house if you were going to have a pizza delivered. But here we want to send data over the webhooks instead of pizzas. So here we basically just have our data, which is images and annotations. And then we want to send it to another URL address and do stuff with that. So here again, if they succeed or fail after the webhook, we're just going to archive them because either like if it succeeds to actually like send the data over the webhook or fails, we're just going to throw the data into our archive because we don't want to have that after they have been rejected in the 2 review stages. So now I'm going to show you how we can set up the URL. First of all, we'll go into Zapier. You can set up an account and then we can create like these webhooks. We can have different actions based on what you want. Here, I'm going to show you how we can send a private channel message in Slack. But if you just hit the plus sign here, you can see some of the other actions that we can set up. You can add stuff to Google Calendar. You can have Google Docs, Gmail, Slack. So this is the one that I chose. We can also have Google Sheets. So this is actually like one of the most important ones, I think. You can go ahead and choose the app. You can change the app here, but then we can actually like set up events. So if we have our data, we have the annotations, we have the detections, we also have our image. We throw it through the webhook. Then we can go in and add like a spreadsheet row, for example, with our annotations or with the labels from our images. So again, we're just going to go that. We can create a spreadsheet row, and then we actually like just set up these actions based on that. Then when our webhook or when our address is actually like triggered, then it will send the data, send the information, it will send the pizza, and then it will deliver it to this URL address. And this is the URL address that you will get from Zapier, which is the webhook that we connected to. So this is actually like pretty cool. It can be used for a lot of different kind of things, and it's actually like really important when you're working with larger workflows and data sets. We can just hit continue. You'll sign into Google Sheets and so on, and then it will take care of the rest. This is actually like a really easy process to set up. And again, you have all these different actions. Here we're just going to delete it and show how we can actually send a private channel message in Slack, because right now, if our image has been discarded in the 2 review stages, we're just going to send a message that we have discarded an image, and then we will delete that from our dataset. So let's just go inside this action. We can just set the event here. So send private channel message. We can also like create a channel, send a direct message if you want to do that, send a channel message or add a reminder and stuff like that. But here we're just going to send a private channel message. We can choose the account. We set up the account. You basically just connect to your Slack account. We can set up an action. So here we're basically just going to take the raw body. So that both the title, the item, the name. Here you can see all the different kind of like data structures that you can get. You can get some headers, raw body. Here we'll get both the image width, the data set, and the annotations. And then we can also just set up and like a general text message as I have here. Check annotations, discarded in last review stage. So the first step before our action is actually like the trigger. So this is the webhook that we're going to set up. Again, we have this event. We can have catch raw hook. We can also have this retrieve poll or the catch hook. But here we basically just have a catch raw hook. So we're both waiting for like post, puts, gets to this Zapier URL that we're going to copy. And then we're just going to have this one. We can test the trigger down at the bottom. We're going to hit continue. We have the raw body and all these different things that is going to be sent. So first of all here, before we're going to test it, we will get our URL. So this is our webhook URL. I'm just going to copy it, we go back to V7, and then we go inside our webhook, and then we just copy paste in our URL. So down here at the bottom, we get this test button that we can then hit. We get success. We're just testing the webhook here if it actually works, and that we have connection to the URL that we copy pasted up here. Now let's go into Slack and actually see if we got a notification. So here I go in, I got a notification at this exact time point. Check annotations discarded in the last review stage, and then we get this raw body here with both the file name, the data set, and all these different things that we chose inside of our Zapier. Let's go back here again and act like we just verified with the images. So now we have our whole pipeline up running. We can then go down and take an example. So here we have this example. Let's just take this one here, and then we can actually just hit this stage. We can throw it into our webhook. We'll throw the data through the webhook. Item successfully moved to the stage webhook, and now we should be able to go into Slack again and see that we have actually thrown this image through our webhook and the annotations. Here we can see we can just verify it. We get a new message, check annotations discarded in last review stage. So we actually both get the image, we also get the whole raw body here that we specified inside of our Zapier. So this is actually really easy to set up. It is really cool, and it can definitely be used for a lot of different things. So thank you guys for watching this video here. And again, remember to hit the subscribe button and bell notification under the video. Also like this video here if you like the content and you want more in the future. I have a whole playlist now with these tools from V7. They have a lot of cool features inside of their annotation platform. We both have our data sets. We can train our own models inside of V7. We can create these nice workflows where we can feed our data through different stages. We have the webhooks that we went over in this video. It can be used for tons of different things. We also have the review stages where we can assign different labelers and different persons to different stages. Just remember, when you're talking about webhooks, it is exactly the same thing as the pizza delivery example I went over. So I'll link to the V7 tutorial here, or else I'll see you next video, guys. Bye for now.